Hello there guys, it's Joey, and these are some requested items for the goddess Freya. So do you remember the last time I made things for the goddess Freya? This is a blood warning. Do you remember what I said about the message from Freya? Yup. I'm going to pause the video. That has just happened. Taking the candles out of their thing. Apparently I need to bleed for Freya items every single time. So I'm going to pause the video now. We're going to get back to the meanings and showing the bits for themselves in a minute. Okie dokie, so this is a request for Freya items. It's a little bit of an unusual start, and I had to capture it on video because the last time that I created Freya items, I bled for them, and this time I have indeed again bled for them. I am now bandaged up. So the request was for some prayer beads and 2 votives, and the energies for the goddess Freya items are designed, of course, to honour the Nordic goddess Freya, goddess of love, beauty, gold, sensuality, magic, war and death. So I talked at length about the items previously and the meanings behind each of them. So we'll just touch quickly on the meanings and the message that I received from Freya last time, which if you haven't seen the last Freya video you might be like, what are you talking about? But basically I bled for them for both of these. So the aesthetic is designed to reflect the mythos of Freya. They have to be beautiful and sensual, but also full of wily, wild energies who can pit gods against one another in wartime if she so desires. For Freya is beauty and feminine within the scope of a death goddess, a force that cannot be denied. Freya is in control of her sexuality, in control of her sovereignty. She leads souls to the realm of the afterlife, sharing souls with Odin, and is described as having white arms that light up the darkness of the underworld. There is also a death aspect underlining these particular energies, which underlines the death goddess element of the goddess Freya. And what she actually said to me in a very strong meditation that came through was, when did beauty become weakness or frailty? If you grip the rose too tightly, it will cut you, you will bleed. And both times I've created beauty for goddess Freya, I have bled for it. So first and foremost, let's do the votives because they follow directly the line that was created already. The store already has the orb and the cauldron and the oil. So the votives here are designed around the same aesthetic. Now you can see a lovely dark movement through the wax. This is actually a deep dark gold, but I really love how the effect has come through. So you can see the gold within the base, but it's also a little bit of that death element coming in. So there's beauty, but there's also that sort of wildness going up through the votive. So that colour contrast has that darkness, that goldness that refers to the mythos of her gold necklace. And I don't have the name in front of me. I think it was Bricing Vaja, but I'm not sure. Hang on, let's get the name of it up. Which is the mythos that she wanted this necklace made by 7 dwarves, and they agreed to part with it only if she slept with them. It's Brisingamen. And she did this, and she got the necklace, and Odin wasn't pleased and took it off her, and fights with gods ensued. So she has a gold mythos running through her. She has her sovereignty of being in power, but she also has this death element where she's sometimes considered to be a goddess and a Valkyrie or a Valkyrie, and she is in charge with choosing death, choosing souls to go to another realm, and she splits them with Odin. Basically, they divide up the souls between them. So she has these incredibly strong, and she's right here, right now. Woo! The energy just went through the roof. And she has this incredible wily energy, this incredible sovereignty, this regality, this she takes no nonsense, and she will have her way, and she will dictate the way things are to be, and she understands the meanings of love and beauty and wildness, and love in all its facets, being wild and free and sexual, and it not being a game, it being strength, it being something worth bleeding for, as apparently I have now demonstrated twice. She says I'm welcome. So there you go. Who would not bleed for the glory of a goddess? Okay then. Alright, I've done it. I agree. So the prayer beads were requested. The hawk symbol was also a request. So that's why this hawk is chosen. But this hawk is very special. I wonder how close we can get in. Too fast, let me out. Right, this is a hawk in flight, which I really wanted. I really wanted for this. I love the idea of the movement within the prayer beads, but more than that, it's something else as well entirely. So this hawk is actually a pin, and the meaning of this is that you can remove it from the prayer beads if you so desire and wear it as jewellery, and then you can put it back on. So I really loved this idea of taking a pin here and it being a piece of jewellery because of Freya's relationship to jewellery, and it's multi-purpose, so you can wear it, you can carry it around with you, you can put it on your coat, you can pin it, and you can carry it with you, and you can put it back on the prayer beads and use it like that. So I really loved that idea. The gold linking that you can hopefully see was also a request, so I went out specially and got gold wire for it, and that's to reflect the element of gold that we've already touched on in the necklace mythos, and she has a very strong gold aura about her anyway, this very strong sovereign regality. It comes through with like a gold and a glitter, and it's not like a cheap gold though, it's like a deep dark gold, like true worth of gold, that sort of energy. So the gold loops were requested and therefore are part of the prayer beads. Opalite was requested, a pink was requested, and I actually chose to go slightly differently with a black here, and I'm going to discuss that with you here. So the opalite per request. So opalite is about meditation, the crown chakra, the stone of eternity, to understand the true self, the true spirit, to free the spirit. Knowing that one can soar higher than the expected, which of course ties in beautifully to hawk imagery, which also has this deep solar energy to it, by the way, so that the gold and the sun and the fire element really sort of weaves its way throughout. We can reach unimaginable goals, we can be the ultimate version of ourselves. The freedom is not held back by the physical self, is not held back by race, language or religion, belief or capability. The stone encourages to explore within and all around, to learn that even the most unimaginable life goals can be reached. They do not have to be dreams. Also can help to soften a harsher atmosphere, softening a hardened soul, a good stone for releasing fears and worries, accepting change, and has a very positive light energy. It draws light in, and as I've shown you before, when you move them around, it actually looks a little bit like a sunlight moving through them. So these are the, can you see the light reflecting underneath a bit here? There you go. So then we have the rose quartz. The pink was requested, and I like the offset of the pink here. Rose quartz, as I was talking about with the Brigid candles with the Brigid prayer beads. Sorry, I'm looking at candles and talking without thinking. Rose quartz is one of those crystals that, and sometimes we can write off as a beginner crystal, and it's only when we realise that the egotism involved in that we go back to it, and we go back to rose quartz and realise that, you know, it's actually a really effective crystal for healing, and it can really effective for self-love as well as finding love within and without, and it is a really wonderful healer in that regard. And given that it's a love stone and it's sort of dismissed sometimes as a beginner love stone, and we have to go back and really examine what it means to really use rose quartz in love spells and stop being egotistical and thinking, oh, it's basic, and you know, oh, it's easy, so it's something that further down the line we should ignore. And I think just because it's the most well-known love crystal doesn't mean that it doesn't deserve to be the most well-known love crystal. And because Goddess Freya has her energies of love, all love, it's an appropriate choice for her. I think it works well. And finally we have the onyx, which is the black. It's a strength stone, support in difficult, confusing circumstances and during times of emotional or mental stress. It's a deep grounder, it's a warrior crystal, it's one of the black crystals. So they work very well alongside the others in themes of prayer beads, because prayer beads here, you know, bringing light in, bringing love in, and grounding and stabilising. So in terms of the reason for having prayer beads and using prayer beads, all three work across very well together. They also represent elements and aspects of the goddess Freya herself, and this one could be the death element or you know, the Valkyrie element, and it's very much about grounding, stabilising, assisting in self-mastery and the capacity to impart personal strength, mastering one's destiny, promoting vigour, steadfastness and stamina, self-confidence, helping you to keep your own counsel, used to heal grief and sorrow, and balancing the yin and yang, the male and female within oneself. And I think that's balancing the energies of female and male within oneself can really help towards self-mastery and personal sovereignty, which is something that Freya obviously is all about. So each of the three beads also represent elements, aspects of the goddess Freya here. I freaking adore these. I think they're beautiful. I really love the idea of the pin being detachable and you can put it back on quite easily. And that means it can be worn like jewellery, and that ties into her mythos. I love that idea. So I hope you like them, and many blessings.